there is about 300 million Americans in this country. That database had 2.8 billion records in it that included full names, date of birth, phone numbers, every address you've ever lived at, and your entire social security number. It's got everything on you. And I'm sure you're seeing your full social security numbers there.
Wow.
So we have this tool where we can discover if you have accounts created places. Let's say you have a kid and you told them they're not allowed to have a Snapchat account. Now we can confirm if they have a Snapchat associated with that email or phone. That's the fix for your social being out there. They released a file that had credentials in it, and those credentials were easy. There was I think it was pass123 was their password, and the database had all of this all of this very private information in it. So like 2.8 billion records is with 300 million Americans. That means people that have passed away. That means multiple addresses for where do you see how many addresses it has for you? And once that data is out there, it's out there. It's like you can remove data from data brokers, like White Pages, for example, or all of those background check websites. You can remove that because you have a legal right to request removal of that. But when it comes to dark web data or, breached data, all you can do is be aware of it and take action based on your knowledge of it. But I'm sure you're seeing your full social security numbers there. And your previous addresses, I'm sure, are there. An email that isn't public is there.
Wow.
I don't know how familiar you are with the China situation that just happened in New York.
Yeah.
There was 300 SIM card servers with over 100,000 SIM cards capable of taking 20 million offline.
They shut down all cell phone communications. What does that mean for the population, especially in a city that's as dense as Manhattan?
It's absolute chaos. China attacks us with an EMP and we lose our power. We're not even gonna make it 3 months without power.
A lot of people would die off.
Have you heard of Meshtastic?
No.
So it's super cool. And, I don't know how familiar you are with the China situation that just happened in New York.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you talk about that?
I can talk about it briefly. I wrote some, just so I make sure I have the numbers correct on that. There was 300 SIM card servers with over 100,000 SIM cards capable of taking 20 million offline. So, and that's the tri-state region of New York. So like not just New York, but the surrounding states too. And that's just with the ones that they found. So I think it would be kind of naive to think, there's not more of these all over our entire country.
The reality is, your personal information is out there, exposed and vulnerable. It's on you to protect yourself. That's why we trust and personally use Aura, today's sponsor. Aura does all the heavy lifting to keep you safe online. They take action against these data brokers and companies who are selling your personal information. Going after them directly, you don't have to lift a finger. Aura handles it. But that's not all. Here's where it gets even more serious. Aura doesn't just stop there. They continuously monitor the dark web for any trace of your personal data. If they find your information floating around in places it shouldn't be, Aura will alert you immediately. They'll let you know fast if anyone is trying to use that data to access your credit accounts or even drain bank accounts. And if the worst happens to you, Aura has you covered. They offer up to $5 million in identity theft insurance to help you recover if someone gets a hold of your information and tries to do real damage. Don't wait until it's too late. Head over to our link, aura.com/anonymous, to try Aura free for 14 days. That's plenty of time for Aura to find out if any of your personal data is exposed and start protecting you from these threats.
Like, have you ever been to a concert or a big event where everybody's there and your phone's going so slow and no calls are going through?
Yep.
That's because that's just so many people are there. It's denial of service. This is a distributed denial of service, meaning coming from multiple angles with, let's say each one sending 100 text messages a minute. It's intentionally trying to flood the towers with so much data that they can't function. They can't keep up with it. So that's essentially what that was set up to do. And to my knowledge, the way they found that, at least partially, was from a tip. So I don't think they're going to tip everywhere that China or whoever, I'm assuming China in almost all cases, has these all over our country, which scares the crap out of me. So I started looking into it.
What would they? Okay, so I really want to dive in. I have an idea of where this is going, but I want you to describe, like, okay, they shut down all cell phone communications. What does that mean for the population, especially in a city that's as dense as Manhattan?
It's absolute chaos is what happened. It's absolute chaos. Everyone relies on a phone right now in some sort of way to connect with their families, to pay their bills, to, get into their cars, and like myself included, to get into their houses, to pay for things. It's like if to call for emergency services, yeah, like whatever, all of these things. And if you take it away, and that's just the tip of the iceberg. I mean, if China attacks us with an EMP and we lose our power, I mean, some stuff that I've read means people are thinking we're not even going to make it 3 months without power.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people are just going to die off.
A lot of people would die off.
Yeah. And it's sad and it makes sense though. So I could try to go further into it. I don't know, on the politics and all that, like, I don't know a ton about it.
I mean, how long would the server be down for?
As long as they're attacking.
So how would they initiate the attack?
So this is a guess from me, but if it was me behind this, so let's say I would have all of these servers ready to go. I would have one computer that had access to all of them, or just imagine just like a digital switch. So I remote into a computer somewhere, wherever it is, and I press the go button basically, and the go button tells all of those SIM servers to start sending out text messages at mass volumes, and it's just going to keep people offline. So it would be somebody remotely detonating essentially, and then at that point all of the phones in the area / tri-state area, according to what I read, would be they'd be completely useless. Not only with text messages, also phone calls, also data for the internet, completely offline.
Like hardwired internet as well?
No, internet would be okay. Because it's not affecting the cellular towers, but any cellular connection would be offline. Like you would see that you had connection, but it just wouldn't work.
How long could they keep it down for?
They would have to figure out where all of the places that were distributing all of that.
Holy shit.
Yeah, it would take time. It would be substantial enough for it to be a problem, I'll tell you that much. Especially, imagine if it happened in like Utah or somewhere where there wasn't, I don't know, I'm just taking a random guess, but like somewhere that a little more desolate in certain areas at least. It would take a while for that to be fixed, I believe.
Would there be a way to trace that type of a signal? I mean, I remember seeing the pictures of that, and I mean, it was like tons of antennas and electronics. I mean, do one of these devices go, whoa, there's like a lot of text messages coming from that building?
So none of these devices are going to go. I mean, you may be able to pull some general cellular frequency stuff from the HackRF / H4M, like the new HackRF. Combination. It's a whole thing. But you may be able to see something on here, like like a waterfall display is. It's just like colors going down the screen. You may be able to see like a big fluctuation of that, but I don't know for sure, to be honest with you. But I do know that with a denial of service attack, with a ton of numbers, taking 20 million phones offline, I mean, that's a serious problem, regardless if they could find it or not. But the problem is this. The problem is, if you're not sending or receiving text messages on all of these SIM servers, then how are they going to identify that they're there? Because they're not transmitting or receiving any data at that point. If the remote on and off switch I was talking about earlier was off, they're not going to be able to determine that they're there yet. But the second they start sending out a signal, it's probably a little bit easier for them to detect all of this data is coming out of this specific spot. They could just, go around with an electromagnetic, field detector and say, wow, there's a crap ton of all this coming out of this building.
By then it's too late.
Yeah, at that point, it's already caused a mass hysteria or a mass problem, or the media is already reporting on China's attacking us or whatever, God forbid, happens. Shit. So